Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. One would expect that Sen.Natasha having been reinstated, will let sleeping dog lie and move on. Apparently she's not done yet, and she's really ready to prove a point, and she wants the law to take its full course. Hence, she had said to move against the two very persons who she believes are trampling on her rights. Let's dive into the newspaper to find out the drama that took place some few minutes ago or some few hours ago in the courtroom. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. According to the news we gathered, Kogi Central Senator Sen.Natasha Akpabio has told the Federal High Court in Abuja that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello have no good reputation to protect, arguing that her statement accusing them of orchestrating an assassination plot against her did not amount to defamation. Mrs. Akpabio made the submission in a notice of preliminary objection to ongoing cyberbullying and defamation charges filed against her by the federal government. In the objection dated 18 September and marked CR/195/25, the senator, through her lawyer, Michael Norman, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, argued that both Mrs. Akpabio and Bello had abused her respective offices. I take that again, have abused their respective offices. She said that Mr. Akpabio, during his tenure as Akwa Ibom governor, was accused of several incidents of violence, while Mr. Bello was accused of mismanaging state funds when he served as Kogi governor. The senator maintained that those allegations are more grievous than any supposed defamation the government claimed she committed. The application filed pursuant to Section 6 sub 6c, Section 42 sub 1, and Section 174 sub 3 of the Nigerian Constitution is supported by a 17-page affidavit deposed to by Mrs. Akpabio herself. In the affidavit, she argued that the cyberbullying and defamation suits were not instituted in the public interest, but rather to serve the personal interests of Mr. Akpabio and Bello. She maintained that her statement accusing the two men of plotting to assassinate her were personal imputations and did not relate to their official capacities as public officers. The lawmaker further alleged that the police failed to conduct any credible investigation before the federal government proceeded to file charges against her. Mrs. Akpabio stated that she would, in the subsequent part of her affidavit, tender documentary evidence to prove that the charges amounted to an abuse of the legal and prosecutorial powers of the Attorney General of the Federation, insisting that the prosecution was politically motivated. The federal government has filed two separate criminal cases against Mrs. Akpabio. The first case, marked CR/297/25, was filed on 16th May under Section 391 of the Penal Code Law, Cap 89, Laws of the Federation 1990, which criminalizes making damaging imputations against another person's reputation. She was charged before the Federal Capital Territory FCT High Court. The charge followed an interview she granted on Channels Television's program Politics Today, aired on 3rd April, where she alleged that her life was in danger following the withdrawal of her security detail. During the interview, she also accused Mr. Akpabio and Bello of being behind the alleged plot to assassinate her. MB Abubakar, Director of the Department of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, DPPF, who signed the charge sheet, said that Mrs. Akpabio knowingly made those allegations with awareness that they could damage the reputations of the individuals mentioned. The second case, marked CR/195/25, expands on the earlier charges by including remarks she allegedly made during a homecoming event in her constituency on April 1st. At the gathering, she reiterated claims that the Senate president and the former governor were plotting to assassinate her. At the gathering, she reiterated claims that the Senate president and the former governor was plotting to assassinate her. She attributed the alleged plot to her refusal to succumb to political pressure and a failed attempt to recall her from the Senate. The second charge also retained the claim she made during her 3rd April interview on Channels Television. My colleague is in the house. All of this is the fact that, one would say that someone is crying more than the bereaved. There was accusations made against the persons of Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State, and the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, and the present Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. They didn't take a party to court, but it's actually the AG of the federal government that is taking Sen.Natasha to court. One would wonder, why is it that these persons are refusing to take Sen.Natasha? Why would the federal government help them? And these are very learned people who understand if their rights are being infringed. My colleague is in the house. What's your take and what's your make of all of this?
Well, right now, the Odwagon and the crisis she's having in the, for me, I would say that no matter what is going on, the issue should be addressed. Whether it's the issue of defamation on the part of Natasha herself should be, addressed. And also some of the allegations that she had brought up, though she said does not really affect their offices and all of that. But I still feel that all of it should be addressed because these persons are occupying very prominent positions, in Nigeria. Those elected positions, one was a former governor, and talking about Yahaya and Bello, one was, former governor. Today he's a Senate president and all of that. And she too, she's occupying a very sensitive position. So whatever step that is being taken right now should not be considered an escalation. You understand? It shouldn't be looked upon as an escalation. It should be looked upon as something to do to mitigate the reoccurrence of such in the future. I know that during the period of pressure and all of that, one is bound to let loose of his or her tongue. But being that you're occupying such a prestigious position, it is ideal that, you look beyond the current situation. Look at the broader implication of whatever you are doing.
But she did mention that her security personnel were withdrawn from her at that period where things were really getting very chaotic. Is it not wise for her to open up and shout and say that her security is at risk?
Well, it was ideal for her to say it, but I'm not trying to hold brief for anybody, you understand? But I'm just trying to look at it from a very objective perspective, and that is, no matter what, we should have provable evidence in our hand before we start leveling allegation on people,
But she says she has proofs.
Okay, so she should roll out her proof, and at least that will help for Nigerians to know what actually had happened. But also, be that as it may, it's important for us to reflect on the issue of violence against gender, especially looking at the fact that their numbers are very few in the Senate. That also should be, this particular case will help to address it, because a lot of people feel that she's been intimidated because she's a woman and all of that. But, with all of that at hand, one should, the federal government should be able to look beyond that and handle the issues amicably.
Let's just hope it's not politically motivated. That's what we'll wrap it up. Let's meet in our conversation.